This is a Monday morning, second week of Easter, and I'm going to talk about the Israel deliverance that I found in Exodus chapter 14, verse 21 to 31. It is a passage where Moses stretches out his hand over the sea, and then all night a strong wind from the east drove back the sea and turned the sea area into a dry land. As I was reading that passage, I was thinking of the saying that says, "I will make a way where there seems to be no way." Perhaps I'm imagining the Egyptians are pursuing the Israelites, and of course the Israelites are already beginning to pass through the area of the sea because the water has parted already. And the Egyptians began to be in panic because the Lord was guiding the Israelites through a pillar of cloud, and that created a bit of a cloud in the back so they couldn't see. So and then their chariots were clogged into the sand, so it was hard to turn or to advance. So they began to give up their fight, and they were saying, "The Lord is fighting for Israelites." Now, imagining dividing the sea before the children of Israelite, we're thinking that could be seen as the type of baptism. Some will go through it for salvation and they get the conversion of souls, and others will not be able to pass through it because there's a final ruin of the impenitent. And when Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, then the water was able to come back, and the Egyptians, they tried to retreat, but it was too late. The Lord will fight for you. Just believe. God's promises are always true. Have faith. Don't look on circumstances. The Egyptians, remember, they had all the possible reasons to win. They had horses, they had chariots, they had the best warriors and soldiers, so they could see with their own eyes whom they were pursuing. Maybe they thought the ETA could have been maybe 15-20 minutes. They will reach to the Israelites. They were on horses, and the others were on foot. But it didn't work. It didn't work because they got delayed, and many other things that they didn't plan for happened. All they relied on was their chariots and their horses, and how their mighty gear was powerful and that they could not possibly lose. The winners are not always the strong. The strong may actually be other than we think. They were on foot. They had women and children. They had cattle and animals. They couldn't possibly have gone faster than the war horses. Yet we know how it ended. And now Israelites were safe and horse riders lost. Because the Israelites, they feared the Lord. And then eventually both the Israelites and as well as the Egyptians, they all feared God because the impossible happened. That is the answer to prayer. God is moved by our prayers. He will rescue you even though you are in the midst of the dark night. He will guide your steps. What wouldn't He be able to do for those who love Him? I was thinking also about the rage against Israelites from the Egyptians that made them blind. They could not consider that there could be other factors that could make them lose. Maybe factors that would have helped them. Because when we rely on our own presumptions, thinking, Oh, there's no way we couldn't possibly win. There's no way we couldn't do it. We become blind to our own destruction ahead. We continue to think we are strong and then cannot lose, but that's walking by sight and not by faith. Eventually, a walk by sight in the end is very disappointing to us because we rely on our own means or our skills rather than on God, who can do anything. Those who walk by faith know that God does deliver his promises to those who love and fear him.